You don't have a shot problem, you have a reality problem.
That feels rude.
It's meant to be useful?
Jace Holloway turned 18 with a pickleball paddle in one hand and a minor messiah complex in the other. Not a cruel one, just the normal athlete variety. The quiet belief that if he could finally get everything dialed in, the world would be forced to recognize what heaven had obviously noticed first. And, to be fair, Jace was absurdly gifted. His reflexes looked pre-installed. His hands were quick, his footwork natural, and he could generate power from weird body positions that made older players sigh, like men watching their mortgages lose to genetics. When his mind was right, he was terrifying. He could paint lines, counter hard drives, reset from chaos, and speed up from impossible angles with the sort of timing that made opponents question both their strategy and their personal calling. But when he got rattled, the whole machine fell apart. One bad, unforced error, and suddenly he was internally prosecuting himself. One missed put-away, and he was in a private courtroom, replaying the point like the Zapruder film. By the time the next rally started, his body was still on the court, but his mind was somewhere in the recent past, filing emotional paperwork about what should have happened. His mother said he needed a sports psychologist. His uncle said he needed grit. His youth pastor said he needed identity in Christ. The problem was that all three sounded vaguely correct and therefore unhelpful. Then he met Coach Stan Bright. Bright had once played at a high level, but his real reputation came later. He became the guy parents whispered about at tournaments, the coach who could stabilize a talented athlete's mind in under a month. He trained tennis players, golfers, baseball prospects, and now, apparently, select pickleball players with enough raw talent and enough inner chaos to justify intervention. Coach Bright wore plain black shirts, drove an old truck, and spoke with the unsettling calm of a man who had already made peace with most things. He watched Jace lose a tight match at a regional showcase, not because Jace lacked skill, but because, after missing 2 returns, he emotionally detonated in stages. Afterward, Bright said, "You don't have a shot problem. You have a reality problem." Jace blinked. "That feels rude." "It's meant to be useful." They sat on aluminum bleachers while a doubles match nearby produced the distinct sound of athletic ambition colliding with orthopedic risk. Bright pointed toward the court. "Mental management is the most important aspect of pickleball. Also life. Maybe especially life. An immature mind lives in deception. It keeps saying, 'That point could have gone differently if I had just done this or that.'" Jace shrugged. "I mean, yeah." "No." Bright shook his head. "That's the lie. The point went exactly as it was always going to go, given who you were in that moment. Your beliefs, your tension, your attention, your preparation, your current level of maturity. Everything. It was a perfect revelation of where you actually are." Jace frowned. "That sounds fatalistic." "It's liberating, if you understand it rightly." Bright leaned forward. "There is no useful could have been. There is only what was, what is, and what will be. Psalm 139:16. Your days were written before one of them took shape. That doesn't make you passive, it makes you honest. The missed shot is not a moral scandal, it's accurate feedback." Jace looked down at his paddle. "Mistakes don't exist the way you think they do," Bright said. "There are feedback moments. That's it.
Information, revelation, a gift showing you what needs upgrading. The words hit harder than Jace expected, because shame had been his operating system. Every bad point felt like evidence against him. But if each point was simply exposing his present makeup, then he no longer had to waste energy pretending he was further along than he was. Bright began training him differently. After every lost rally, Jace had to ask 3 questions. What did this point reveal? What truth keeps me clean? What is the better next approach? No groaning, no muttering, no spiritualized self-hatred in Nike socks. If you dwell in regret, Bright told him, you step out of the present where mastery grows. Shame is just misinterpretation with a dramatic soundtrack. Receive the moment as truth, and grace can actually teach you. He taught Jace to see every game as already held within God's authorship. Every point mattered, but none were wasted. A shanked drop shot, a rushed speed up, a timid return. All of it became building material. Partner with the Spirit of Christ in the moment, and even failure becomes formation. Your job, Bright said, is not to rewrite the last point. Your job is to become the man who can play the next one in truth. Slowly, Jace changed.
He stopped flinching at feedback. He accepted correction faster. He became weirdly grateful after ugly losses, which deeply unsettled one opponent who preferred his rivals emotionally unstable. His mind got quieter. His body got freer. The game slowed down. Because once shame left, his natural gifts finally had room to breathe. By 19, he was rising through the PPA. By 21, he was winning matches commentators called breakout performances. They praised his composure, his shot tolerance, his uncanny ability to reset after chaos. What they didn't know was that the real transformation had happened long before the trophies. Jace had learned to receive each moment as a gift. Not because every point felt pleasant, but because every point told the truth. And truth, once accepted, brought liberation, excellence, gratitude, and peace. There was always another shot. And every previous one had been necessary.